2 games for us to get stuck into on Sunday. Listening to the Racing Post football postcast, joined by Mark Langdon and James Milton for the Racing Post. Also got Adrian Croak on the line from our friends at Paddy Power. And I'll throw to you, Adrian. First up at 1:30, we've got Arsenal at home to Watford. How do Paddy Power price this one up? And more importantly, Adrian, how do you see it going?
So Arsenal here are 4-9, the draw is 7-2, and Watford are 9-2. To me, the Arsenal price looks a little big, but I was one of those misfortunate people that also thought they looked a little big at Brighton, and soon found out why that reason was. It's just the most expensive collection of 11 cowards to ever really put on a football field. you put up any adversity against them, and they just will. They just don't have the bottle to actually challenge it. If they struggle in any way, if they score first, they'll go on and win this game handily. But if Watford nick first goal here, Arsenal just having a hope. But I do think the 4-9 at home, given their home form, is probably a bit of a bet. They're 6th in the table purely off their home record. Away from home, I think they barely got the 13 points this year. 13 points, I think, away from home, which is embarrassing for a top team in England, really.
Okay, Mark, obviously Arsenal playing Thursday night in Milan. I doubt that will have much of a bearing on the price of this game, but how do you see it going, and could it have an effect on the game?
I suppose it could, because the return leg, it could be without knowing exactly what the first. Can you imagine if we're speaking before the game, but if they get tonked at San Siro, can you imagine what the Emirates atmosphere is going to be like? Similarly, if they win, there will be a lift, and they'll kind of should be able to see a path potentially back into the Champions League, but of course it won't come via the Premier League, and this is maybe an opportunity for Watford to do what I think their manager does best. Javi Gracia, when he was managing Malaga, he was like an expert in stopping big teams from playing. He had a good record against Real Madrid and Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. And it used to be really boring, quite turgid stuff. So I was looking at, under 3.5 is around about sort of 4 to 6 mark, 8 to 13. But you might want to chance your arm and go for the under 2.5. 5 of his 6 games so far in charge have been under 2.5. He seems to have sorted the defence out. They've got a few defenders back from injury as well. We are talking here against West Brom and Everton. Arsenal are a different beast to that. And the game that was over was against Chelsea, when a lot of the goals came late, and of course that was when Chelsea were down to 10 men. So if Arsenal do win, if they do score first, I'm not sure that Watford under Gracia will start chasing the game. I think they may take a almost Antonio Conte like approach to it, where let's just try and keep it to 1-0 for as long as possible and nick something right at the end. So under 2.5 goals, which is not something I say often about Arsenal in Premier League matches, but maybe the way to go here.
Milts, what are we feeling?
Yeah, Arsenal lost the reverse fixture 2-1 when Troy Deeney came out with his famous cojones quote.
Yes, of course.
And actually, I'm pretty fearful of Deeney again. He's scored in 3 of his last 4. All of those were the first goal of the game, and I think Watford will take a lot of heart from Arsenal's display in that reverse fixture, and just from the way Arsenal have been defending recently. Mustafi looks like a sleepy kitten. Koscielny's clearly playing through the pain.
Do you think he'll rest Koscielny as well? Because he might not be able to play
I suspect he has to, really. Koscielny, he really looks short of fitness. He has got this ongoing problem, I think. But the Arsenal reserve defenders have hardly covered themselves in glory. So I think Troy Deeney and his big cojones will be up for this game. I think kind of 15-2 each way first goal scorer. He's on penalties as well. Arsenal give away a ridiculous amount of penalties, and Petr Cech never saves any of them. So that's another boost to your bet there.
Oh, you Arsenal fans have the wind knocked out of yourselves massively. Right, let's move on. We've got Bournemouth at home to Tottenham Hotspur, 4 o'clock kick-off. Spurs very good for an hour against Juventus, Mark. We mentioned they were good throughout the game, really a little bit unlucky.
10-minute spell, wasn't it, when Juve got their 2 goals? Yeah, apart from that, they even responded quite well the last 10 minutes, thought they were going to take it to extra time. But this is, in some ways, just as big a game for them, because I think they need to get back into the Champions League. You need to become regulars at it. I think we've seen the teams that are successful in the Champions League tend to be the ones that are in it, often, and to move into the new stadium without Champions League football would be a real negative. Obviously, you've got Paris Saint-Germain maybe after Pochettino. There'll be big clubs looking at Kane and various other players. So I think they do need to be in the Champions League. They've got the 5-point buffer on Chelsea at the moment and go to Chelsea on Easter Sunday. But I think it's really important that they win this game. Just wondering about the kind of impact that defeat to Juventus will have on them. But I mean, I'm going to go for a bit of sunny delight. Heung-min Son, 16 goals this season. I mean, Barzali would be having. He was more relieved than anyone when he got moved to centre half because Son just had him all day long, didn't he? Scored the goal, got a couple. Obviously, last week against Huddersfield, seems to have reacted quite well to being rested or dropped for that first leg. He just had a bit of a bad spell, but he seems to have come through that. And outside of Harry Kane, who's the obvious first goal scorer choice, I think Heung-min Son is definitely next best on that lineup. And Bournemouth don't defend very well, and that's a big problem for them. So it's a fair opportunity for Tottenham to get the win. I wouldn't back them 8-15 after what happened against Juve, but I think maybe Son needs to score first.
So Price is a bit of sunny delight. Adrian, first goal.
So he's 5-1 here to score first.
And Mark mentioned, I think 8-15 Tottenham. Have you got a show for the 90 minutes betting in that game?
Yeah, so we've got Bournemouth then here at 5-1 as well, and the draw is 10-3.
And how do you see it going yourself, Adrian?
Myself, I do like Son actually as the goal scorer selection right there. The only thing is, I think the goal he got last night is the kind of one you probably shouldn't celebrate after.
Well, you said he didn't mean that. You said he didn't mean to kick it from his right foot onto his left foot to bend it round Chiellini. It's the only way you could beat him last night, Chiellini.
I think there may have been some luck on that one. What I'm looking at here is the unders here. I think the unders have a fair shot here. I mean, Tottenham they kind of get the goal here first. Bournemouth aren't great at defending. They aren't great at holding teams out. I mean, Tottenham should probably be pretty much out on their legs after last night. They must be giving it their all. They might try and coast through the last few moments of this game, and their unders might have a fair shot here at 5-4.
Noops, have you found an angle for this one?
I'm actually quite keen on both teams to score. It's copped in 9 of Bournemouth's last 10, and the exception was that amazing 3-0 win at Chelsea. So they suddenly seem to have goals throughout the team. They've had 10 different goal scorers in the last 8 league games, and Spurs, they're bound to be a little bit shell shocked after that Champions League exit. I heard an interview with Kieran Trippier. The interviewer kept asking what happened. He just kept kind of saying, we don't know, we don't know how we're out. So that it is going to be a tough one for Spurs to bounce back from. But as Mark says, it's a crucial game for them because you can't take your eye off the ball at all in this race for the top 4. But yeah, both teams to score. Tottenham maybe not up to their usual standards of defensive excellence, and Bournemouth full of confidence going forwards.